Welcome to the NCHA. I'm Steve Schauer, Director of Communications. Tonight, I'm joined by Une Bjelland for the second time this season. Una has been named the February Player of the Month. Una, congratulations again. And tonight, we'll talk about the month of February and other accolades that have come so far this season. And then obviously the Slats Cup Championship game on Saturday. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Una, again, we'll run through the numbers as we did last time. The month of February led all players 16 points, 7 goals. You had 9 assists, 3 game-winning goals, and a power play goal. Again, impressive as a whole. When you reflect back on the month of February, which is just about done here, talk about your individual performance and how you've been able to do that, put all those points up on the board.
Yes, I've been putting up some points, but I can't talk about my own performance without talking about my team and how we've been performing as a whole. Obviously, I haven't done it by myself, and I'm relying a lot on my teammates and on my line mates. So I think that together we have playoff performance and started performing at a higher level, both in practices and games, started competing at a higher level and just dialing it in for playoffs, really.
Oh, and when you look at the month of February, Adrian went undefeated at 7-0, but you look bigger, grander scale. It's been all the way back since November 30th was the last loss. You strung together 19 in a row, which is the second longest streak in the country right now. Talk about just this season as a whole. It's been a while since you've lost, but what has the team done to really, maybe in certain games, and you kind of been pressured and challenged to take those moments on and then really start to run away from the opposition?
I think we do a great job of learning from our mistakes. And even if we don't lose, we're never satisfied. So if we're in a tight game or if we win a game and we feel like we haven't performed to the best of our abilities, we're trying to see it. What can we do better? How can we improve? How can we be better for next game? And I think that has been our mentality the entire season. And we started off the season with some great games, non-conference games in a tournament in Utica. And I think from there, we saw where the competition was nationally. And we know that there are teams in this conference that are going to give us a run for our money, just trying to learn and get better every day. And yes, we have been talking about keeping a winning streak, but we've emphasized the point of taking one game at a time, that we can't get to a 19 game winning streak without winning game number 1 and then game number 2 and taking one step at a time and then constantly improving in practice and just overall getting better every day.
Can you talk about your experience at Adrian, 3 straight Crown Schnabel regular season cups? You rewind way back to when you started. How much has the culture changed, the standard risen, that excellence of play that you mentioned from when you started to now? What has changed on the ice in the locker room, which Coach Kelly talks about? What are some of those differences?
Well, I think that me personally in my class was really lucky to come into a strong group of seniors. We had Kelly O'Sullivan, who was a 4-time All-American, and her class who were a part of that team that lost the national championship in overtime. So they obviously wanted to win, and we came into a team that losing was unacceptable. If we lost a game, we were on the football field running the next day. It was just the concept of losing at Adrian is unacceptable. We don't lose, and especially not at home. And then from there, I think we've been doing a great job of keeping that mentality and keeping that through COVID and through those players graduating and new players stepping up as leaders and keeping that Adrian culture of we will do anything to win. And I think that has really set in this year that we demand from ourselves to win, and it shows even in practice too. We're competing, and if we play small games, none of the teams want to lose.
Does that at all translate off the ice and the academics for the team, community service? Just the mentality of always striving for something better?
Yes, like this morning we played a basketball game, and you can tell people we're getting competitive, and we strive for that we compete everywhere and anywhere against ourselves, against our teammates and everything. And that, I think that transfers well into the classroom. Like, we always strive to get our best grades, and everyone has high expectations of themselves.
Una, on February 17th against Lawrence, you became Adrian's all-time leading scorer. Can you rewind back and tell us about that moment and maybe that point you put on the board, what that was like?
Well, I knew I was close. I was trying not to look at it just because I didn't want to get in my own head about it and being like, okay, I have 2 points more or 2 more points and stuff like that. I try not to worry about it. And then when I realized I hit it, it was pretty fun, and all of my teammates made that a really special moment for me. And of course, I've been lucky enough to get 5 seasons, and which players in the past haven't been able to get. But obviously, having that record is pretty fun.
You look at what you guys have done as a team. The month of February alone, you had 3 shutouts. You outscored the opposition 35-4. Can the offense really get any better than what you guys have done in the last 2, 3 months?
Yes, we always try to get better, and one thing we've been emphasizing is capitalizing our opportunities and not being perimeter. And we've been dialing it in, and it has been getting better. We've scored a lot of goals, but we've also been working harder and trying to dial it in more. Now that we are in playoffs, we know that we're not going to have as many chances. So when you first get a chance, you're really going to have to emphasize putting the puck in the net.
Una, congratulations on Player of the Month December, Player of the Month February, Player of the Year. Let's talk about that. When that announcement came out, I imagine Coach Kelly gave you the news ahead of time. But just talk about that, being recognized as the league's best player, what that means to you.
That means a lot. I think that looking back, I've been lucky enough to play with players like Jessica Van Ruden, who won the Player of the Year a couple years, 2 years ago, I think, and she was a player that I always looked up to. So it was fun kind of following in her footsteps and be able to win the same award. I'm just thankful that I have the teammates I have around me that has given me the opportunity to perform the way I have performed and also back me up.
Also on that list of recognition, Coach Skelly, co-coach of the year. You've also had 5 teammates who are all conference or all freshmen. Let's talk about that as a whole, just Adrian, the recognition of what the league sees in the team. What does that mean for you as an individual, the team, and then you talk globally, just the national recognition of Adrian and where you guys rank? And
Yeah, no, it makes me really happy that some of the girls in Skelly gets the recognition. I think they deserve it. They work so hard on the ice, off the ice to perform to the best of their ability. Like players like Carmen Anderson, I don't think I've ever met a player that works harder and more to be able to perform the way she does. And I think that that drive is also what has led us to be ranked number 5 in the pairwise thing and be a contester, or at least we think we are a contester in the national champ, or when it comes to like the national tournament. I think also being national, like competing nationally, is something you expect when you come to Adrian. You know, in the past we have been there, and that's an expectation for our team every year. So we're just trying to live up to that.
I want to ask you, you mentioned a couple times in this interview, past players and how you've looked up to them, and obviously they've been recognized in their own right, but it sounds like you've had some mentors and some leaders in your time in Adrian. Do you take that upon yourself now, being in the position you are and the recognition you have, to help those underclassmen come along faster, become stronger, and understand the game, maybe to the point that you do?
No, I've been really lucky having past players who have shown me the way. Like Caitlin Shoroka was my assistant coach of the team when I came in. All the players have really shown me the ropes, and I'm trying to give back to the program what I was lucky enough to get out of it and show the freshmen how I do things and what works for me. And if they want to copy it, they can. But also, I don't want to demand anything from anyone. If they don't feel like it works for them, then they're free to figure it out.
Just a couple of weeks ago, you took on St. Norbert in a series that basically secured the number 1 seed for you. You defeated them 2-1, and then on Saturday 7-1. Rewind back to that series. How important was it to maybe have that just a couple of weeks ago, maybe for a film perspective, or just to kind of have it fresh in your mind to remember what certain players are doing, knowing that on Saturday the Slats Cup championship game is against St. Norbert?
Yeah, St. Norbert, they are a good team. They're a fast team with skilled players, and I feel like they're a team that matches us up well. Of course, we're always excited to play games against good teams, and having that kind of league final in the back of our mind, we know that when it came down to it, we were able to perform under the pressure and beat them twice already. And we also know that they're going to come out harder just because of that series. We know that we ended their season last year. We know that we beat them twice this year. We're expecting them to come in and feel like they don't have anything to lose. They're going to leave it all out there. The pressure is on us, but we're enjoying playing with the pressure and feel like we are the ones that should be running them or should be controlling the puck and should be. So I think the key for us is to not let the pressure get to us, but build off it instead of crumbling under it.
Final question for you. To secure that Slats Cup championship on Saturday, what are a couple of keys to victory?
I think it is to play our way and not worry about anyone else. And we like to say that if we play our game, that no one in the country can skate with us. And just be sure to control the details and focus on controlling what we can control and not worry about things that we can't control and waste our energy on that.
Well, again, Una, congratulations on being named the February Player of the Month and your NCHA Player of the Year honor. We'll see you on Saturday for the Slats Cup Championship, and good luck.
Thank you.